This is Investment Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Daily live streaming interactive featuring Mrs. Backup. Subscribe, hit the notification, smash the likes. Now, here's Backup Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to Investment Perspectives, everybody. I'm Brad Kimes. You can follow me above on the screen at Backup Bradley, and all the information we're talking about there on Twitter on my account. Okay, I'm going to cover just a few pieces of information. This morning, for one, I did a video on USG, US Gold token that has been created, and it is registered with the Treasury and FinCEN, and it's pretty exciting, and they're going to begin using it in the Middle East, Africa, and India, and even in the Asian markets. Pretty exciting stuff. So I want to touch on another piece of news that's been out for at least a year about R3 and a gold token that they've been working with as well. And then I want to cover like a little bits and pieces of news that have been out today, just make sure everybody's hip to what's going on here. So one of the things I wanted to do is to just remind you that if you need more time in preparing your taxes, you can get an extension for up to filing to October 15th currently right now. That comes from Clinton Donnelly. Shout out to him. Crypto Tax Fixer. Guys, if you have any doubt about your taxes when it comes to crypto, I've had Clinton on the show, and I don't care what anybody says, he is the foremost authority on cryptocurrency and taxes. I have a link in the description. I always usually put a link in the comments as well. There's a demo video that you can watch of him where he breaks down exactly what you need to know. And if you don't feel confident enough to do your taxes, reach out to him and tell him I sent you. Okay, let's keep this thing moving. Shout out to Michael Val 5 Links, who put this post here. I wanted to touch on this. And this was the article that I covered this morning. And I just wanted to shout him out again because I know several people had sent it to me, but he was one of them. Shout out to him and loving the new avatar, Michael. All right, so let's keep this going. There's a little reminder that the British pound sterling is considering the longest lasting fiat currency at 325 years old. Now that is a pretty remarkable feat. Okay, now let's keep this going here. This was from Crypto Wolf. Cryptocurrency exchanges lead the way for blockchain merger and acquisition deals. The blockchain industry has had 129 M&A deals worth $2.9 billion. Ripple is top 5 with 3 M&A deals, and CEO Brad Garlinghouse already said Ripple will invest in more companies later this year, which is exciting. He did say that, so that's exciting. What would it be? And would it be R3? You know, it was rumored last year or early this year, one or the other, I can't remember, that potentially that Ripple would acquire R3. I just think that would be such a great acquire for Ripple because of what R3 does. And obviously knowing that back a couple years ago, it might have been 3 or 4 years ago now, but Ripple and R3 were working together. They dissolved that partnership through court case, and then maybe they work it out now where they reapproach it and purchase the company. If they did that, I say this and I say it again, is that if Ripple were to acquire R3, knowing that R3 is working with Swift and their GPI system, it would be the greatest Trojan horse moment in financial history. It really would. And I'd love to see that for Ripple, that's for sure. Okay, so here's just a picture of the chart here. You can see the actors here in this that are done well. Let's keep this thing moving because I just want to broad stroke what's going on over the news today because we covered the gist of it this morning. Great interview with Mr. B XRP. Make sure you check that out as well. Mr. B XRP, shout out to you, buddy. SBI VC Trade just launched their mobile app. Now, we've been waiting for this for a while. VC Trade SP today. So now you can easily buy and sell and trade crypto assets, XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. Now, this is remarkable. Look, when I see this news, first of all, Yoshitaka Kitao, head of SBI. SBI, early seed investor into Ripple and XRP. We know that he is absolutely vested in seeing the success of Ripple and XRP. This is one of those things where here lately, it has been a huge focus on U.S. domestic regulations and laws about cryptocurrency or the lack thereof and the clarity that's needed. one of the things that's nice about this piece of news is that it reminds all of us that we're talking about a global decentralized asset with XRP and cryptocurrencies in general. And this is one of those nice reminders to zoom out a little bit, and for all the things that we recognize still need to happen in the United States, and they need to happen. This, to me, is a huge sign, because if SBI wanted to go live tomorrow morning in a very big way using XRP, there isn't a thing that the U.S. can do to impact it. And I just find that to be pretty remarkable, because that, again, reminds us of the enormity of the problem that XRP was actually created to solve. And it's a liquidity crisis for the world. And that's not only in cross-border payments. That's not only in the derivatives market, right? In the FX market, and so many other places, in the capital markets, right? In lending in general, just to SMEs. It's remarkable the extent that XRP can actually solve a problem or cure a pain point. Pretty remarkable. All right, let's keep it going. Shout out to BitTrue. And the BTR token has a birthday. Its first birthday. And in doing so, they're giving away $100,000 in prizes. Make sure you get yourself a part of that. Guys, if you haven't seen this video on gold tokenized for the world, check it out. It will be utilizing Ethereum smart contracts used for U.S. digital gold token. Now, I do want to add to the notion of the video this morning, if I could, that a lot of the comments were, okay, what does this have to do with XRP? It says it's going to use the Ethereum smart contract, and we're talking about gold here. So how is this beneficial to XRP? Well, as of yet, to be perfectly honest, we don't know. If I wanted to speculate, and I'm going to, because that's what we do here on Investment Perspectives, as you know, and we love doing it. But at the end of the day, we come home to the fundamentals, right? But there's nothing wrong with speculating, and it's healthy to speculate. Speculating off of this information, which would be this company, by the way. Seeing that they are registered with the Treasury and the FinCEN, right? It's phenomenal. They're above board. They're completely legit. Going to be using the Ethereum smart contract network for that. I'm reminded again of the fact that the Ethereum network is interoperable. Recently, last year, I believe it was, made interoperable with the ILP and the XRP ledger. That's exciting to me. Here's the other side of this equation that I want to address with the comments that we've seen. Because a lot of people are like, well, what does this have to do with XRP if they're talking about Ethereum and what have you? Or they're talking about a gold coin here for trade and supply chains and stuff. Okay, well, to me, you still have the walled gardens. That's how I'm still seeing this equation. You still have the walled gardens. Here's another notion, too, and a couple people touched on this in the comments, and I agree, and it's kind of where I'm coming from, too. Now, this is still far out. But I think we all know that when it comes to the fiat currencies of the world, and the U.S. dollar has been really strong right now, at some point, because the U.S. dollar is actually crushing a lot of the other fiat currencies of the world in valuation. If that were to continue and you continue to see collapse or a breakdown of these other currencies, at some point we may see that roost and come home to the U.S. dollar. And if we see a gold system being put in place like this, I start asking myself, is this the new gold cryptocurrency sort of way that Judy Shelton talked about? Or at least part of that, of a new system being put in place to gain the strength and value in this new digitized gold coin system. And then eventually we see a devaluation and a revaluation of the fiat currencies of the world. Sounds pretty futuristic, right? But look at the time that we're in. Look at the atmosphere of what's normal today. You want to walk into a bank today, you got to have a mask on. You know, if you did that 5 months ago, they call the cops on you. You know, the things that are happening today are quite different than they have been before. Now, I know I just used a reference to the pandemic and the health crisis to just kind of show a contrast of what the new normal actually is. But when you look at the situation that the world is in and the amount of money here domestically at home, we've seen the Fed have to print. We saw for the first time in history in the oil industry that oil went negative $37, $40 a barrel, proving that the Fed could not keep up the printing press fast enough. It can happen, and it seems to me when I see these kinds of things taking place, in fact, to reinforce this notion, this isn't the only one. They aren't the U.S. gold currency is not the only ones doing this, right? So if we look over here, this was from a year ago, and shout out to XRP Sparky, because he reminded us earlier that this has been going on for a while. Here is Gold Graham. Gold Graham has created a token. Last year they announced this, almost to the day, last July, about how they were working with R3 to release a new digital asset backed token called GGC. So the notion of this idea of U.S. gold doing it is not actually as new as this appears. However, this is registered with FinCEN, in full disclosure. Now, I don't know if this is or not, and it may or may not be. And I haven't seen it on here. If it has, I may have missed it, but I'll continue to look to see if they are. But the reality is that a gold currency digitized token is obviously clearly underway. The question that we need to ask ourselves are we headed to a new system? Are we headed to a new system that is to build the strength and value in the system, and possibly then, once it has that, and confidence too, by the way, right? Because confidence is that imaginary line in the sand. Whether we're talking about fiat or digitized gold, tokens, whatever that is, confidence is the intangible here when it comes to anything, especially in money. If you lose confidence into, let's say, money or the bond market, it all comes down. So might this be the early signs of us really getting to see from last year into this year, currently today with the news we're hearing, that they are rebuilding this system, and eventually we will see a revaluation of a devaluation of fiat currencies? I don't know what the answer is, but I do know one thing. We shouldn't be so blinded or so closed in on our perspective, I don't believe, where we start saying, hey, this didn't say XRP. What does this have to do with XRP? I think the bigger question is that what does this have to do with the entire digital asset space? What does this have to do with the monetary system? What are the implications on the fiat world of this taking place? And I think if we start asking those macro questions, I think we start getting a much clearer picture about what's happening as a whole, and it's much easier to figure out from there where XRP continues to be a solution to the new system and the old system and bringing it together. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I just wanted to touch on that because I had so many comments today that really I wanted to address those points just to add some more perspective to that, and then touch on the little pieces of news we had. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe. Make sure you share with somebody you know. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.